Hi, American Film My Phone. Welcome to another video. Today we're getting back into Madonna with her 2008 album, Hard Candy. I'm really excited to hear this album because I know 4 minutes from it, and that song is catchy as heck. Still one of her biggest hits. And I want to see what the album that came from is. 2008 was a good year in music, in my opinion. I mean, I was 8 or 9, depending on what part of the year it was. So a lot of things were just good. It was a lot simpler then. And it's a very nostalgic time for me, music-wise. So since Madonna has been able to evoke a lot of nostalgia for early 2000s and late 90s that I was born into, I want to see what she sounds like as I got a little bit older. Got several songs to get through. It's an hour and 10 minutes of the whole thing, but I think some of those are some remixes. So anyway, let's just get into it. Track number 1 is Candy Shop. Oh. All right, get into the beat. Come into my store, I got candy galore. Get up out of your seat. Well, I'll listen when I'm not filming. Ooh, this is a nice groove, really, for sure. I'll be your one-stop candy shop, so sweet. This kind of feels a bit like Pharrell Williams. My sugar is raw. Wait, who was that? I can't spell. So that was Candy Shop, and that outro was Pharrell Williams. I'm not used to hearing his voice, I guess, on a little bit of a younger side. I normally think of him doing his head voice rather than his chest voice. I found out that a lot of the album is produced by the Neptunes, which is a production duo between Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo. And so we are going to get some of these vibes. So it feels like an early version of Sweetener in a way, in that it does have this R&B flares and these 2000s R&B elements, but it definitely is up-tempo. It kind of felt like something that is an updated version of what she would have done on Erotica. It's not 90s vibes at all, but it definitely has these odes to sensuality and, you know, being flirtatious and saying, oh, I'm a one-stop candy shop. It's not really candy that's being offered here. It's something else that's sticky and sweet. So I enjoyed this song. I thought it was fun. I could see myself dancing to it, and I think it gets me ready to be hyped for the rest of this record. Track number 2 is 4 Minutes featuring Justin Timberlake and Timbaland. I didn't remember this part where Timbaland comes in at the beginning. I know the reason why. I originally heard the song Kids Bop. This is where I think the song starts. There's enough room for both fast and slow. If you want it, you already got it. She's completely predicting TikTok rising. Paid with good intentions, indeed. Madonna. I love how they did the pre-Madonna thing. Time goes by so slowly. It was 4 minutes, and that's not my first time hearing the song. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I think the song is really interesting in terms of saying we only have 4 minutes to save the world, being that the song is 4 minutes and that most songs that were common at that time were about 4 minutes. And realizing that you can't really do that you cannot save the world in just a 4-minute song. You need to just have fun sometimes with music. And you might think about, you know, how to save the planet, how to do better as a society, but you cannot do everything in just such a small fraction. You have to work together and, you know, do collective action and all those big things. So yeah, I think that's an interesting concept for a song. Apparently also at this time, the Doomsday Clock was 5 minutes away from midnight. So at that time, it made sense to also release this. I don't remember the Timberland intro at all. I really just think of the main part of the song, and I really enjoy the song. I wonder if the one that seems like it has more streams, because it's on the greatest hits version, if they edited it in some way, because This one does not have nearly as many streams as the one that is on the Greatest Hits one, and normally they would just merge those, so I don't know why they didn't merge those. I think Justin sounds good on this song. I think Madonna sounds good on this song. I think it's a fun song. It is very much a song from the 2000s, but I think it's a song that you can still play today and it not feel dated. It might feel like, oh, they don't make songs like this anymore, and no, they don't, but that doesn't mean that you want to stop playing. Track number 3 is Give It To Me. Okay, we bumping today. Why would you wait for someone else to do what you could do right now? I love that. Oh, I like how the synths start getting experimental here. Give me a record and I'll break it. She was on to something. Watch this. You fully switched up. Okay, get stupid and don't stop. Alright, that was an interesting break. Oh, she's got some electronica influence on her voice. Ooh, Twinkle Twinkle outro. That was Give It To Me, and that is such a hype yourself up song. She's like, give me a record and I'll break it. Give me a bass line, I'll shake it. If you can handle me, come take my clothes off. But if you think that I need to just wait for something good to happen to me, you are not going to amount to much at all. You need to take a life in your own hands and do what you can right now. Right now. Right now. I think it's a nice motivational song for herself or for us. She apparently wrote it mainly so that she could hype herself up by playing it in stadiums, and fair enough. That is a fun way I could see this song be really fun. The Go Stupid interlude part is very interesting. I think I will have to listen to that in headphones before I know whether I like that. There were certain elements of it that felt like they were a little more piercing, at least when it's coming from my speaker. So I will have to wait and see if that is a part that I am enjoying. But I think overall I thought it was fun. I think she made a fun song, and I can see why this one's got a bunch of streams too, because I could see everyone, going stupid. Don't stop. Track number 4 is Heartbeat. Ooh, these are some interesting grumblings. All right. Feels like we're channeling the 80s. Oh, these rumblings kind of feel like almost like a heartbeat. Okay, now we're into Pharrell's production. Oh, those ahs. I'm not sure if I like that. I'm the only one the light shines on. Okay. I'm the one. I'm number one. I'm the only one. Ooh, is that Pharrell harmonizing? See my booty get down like, okay. Flirty. So that was Heartbeat, and the song is about Madonna's love for dancing. Now, when she is moving and grooving, she feels free, and she feels like the spotlight's shining on her, and she feels it in her heartbeat that she just has this rush of endorphins and just is having a great time with it, and she doesn't want anyone to take that away from her. Lyrically, I really like this song. I think it's fun, and I think having a passion for dance is something that's really important. And I like songs, again, that are talking about something more unique than having a relationship, for example. For me, this song, sonically, I have some potential issues with. I don't like heavy breathing in songs. Like, Pharrell, I needed you to just not do that. And if he didn't, I probably would be listening to this much more routinely. I'm not sure if I will be okay with it. It's like a sensory issue for me. So I'm not quite sure on that note. And also, I think there were certain pitches that it felt like it was a little off. Not necessarily like improperly mixed, but not mixed in a way that was appealing for me personally. So I think this might be one that I have to set aside. I do like it for its ideas and for its lyrics and its message. But I think sonically, I think there might be too much that is just too much for me. Track number 5 is Miles Away. Okay, we're just doing some acoustic guitar strumming. Ooh, okay, I like these percussive hits right here. You're so far away, oh, there's some distance. You always have the biggest heart when we're 6,000 miles apart. Gosh, was she dating someone who was traveling a lot? Ooh, I like those percussive hits too. Ooh, I could dance to this beat. So that was Miles Away, and I like that song sonically. It was just a good groove, and it was a little more acoustically driven. Apparently this song was written with Justin Timberlake and Timbaland. Question, are Timbaland and Justin Timberlake, is there a reason why both of them have to have Timba in their name? Like, is that Justin's legal name? And does Timbaland have a reason for naming his stage name that? I don't know. But let me know down in the comments below. Anyway, this song was cool. It definitely was groovy. And lyrically, it was a lot about long distance relationships and dealing with someone who travels and realizing that sometimes you're better at communicating and it's safer to communicate when you're so far away because you can't have in-person implications of that. And also the idea of absence makes the heart grow fonder. Then you also think, well, maybe I should have appreciated them much more when I was in person with them, because you might just feel like it's normal and you take it for granted, the impersonness of your relationship, until you realize, oh shoot, we are now apart and I miss them deeply and I can't be with them and hang out with them and have a lot of the reasons why I want to have that relationship with them right now because of the distance. It's a tough thing that a lot of people go through. Most of my relationships have had a distance element to them. And so proximity is a really important thing within relationships for a lot of people. And so I think before someone thinks about whether they're going to do long distance, realize that it does add up and that there are a lot of things that are just a lot easier from being in person. There are sometimes easier things to deal with from being distant as well. As Madonna sings in the song, it's sometimes easier to love someone when you're miles apart, because again, you don't have the perks or the issues that could be possible with being around them a lot more often. I know that is something that was true for one of my relationships. And so I think it's something that I could definitely resonate with. And I liked how the song was sonically as well, so I could see myself playing this one again. Track number 6 is She's Not Me. Oh, okay. We bopping. You were stolen. Oh. What is that about, though? Dang, she's getting graphic. Okay, that's a little obsessive. Period. Oh, building time. I know I can do it better. Okay. Okay, it's a Pharrell song now. That was She's Not Me, and that was a fun song. It's about a potential new lover for Madonna's love interest or ex-love interest, who is just trying to fully replicate Madonna's style, trying to steal her scent, steal her look, all of that. Like, girl, just be who you are and be loved for who you are. Gosh, not who Madonna is. You're not Madonna. Girl, she's Madonna. This song was fun. I like a lot of the sonic choices of it. I wish it was shorter. This is a 6-minute song, and it feels like the second half of the song is really like remixing what we already have, and just an okay remix in my opinion. I feel like everything before Pharrell is very good, and you could have just tightened it and buttoned it up very neatly, and it would have been this very good, compact 3.5 minute song. But I think it kind of starts to wear out its welcome a little bit. I wish that some of the experimentation on that had been saved for more of a remix. I know this was not necessarily a single, but I think it could have been a single if you had tightened it up a bit. But I do enjoy the song, and I think if I listen more intently for the first half and the second half I just kind of go and do whatever I want to do with my business, then that might be for the best. But I think the song is fun, and there's some clever lines in there for sure. Track number 7 is Incredible. I need to think about how incredible it all is. Oh, we fully just switched the vibe. Time to get your body moving. Oh, hands up, sorry. Incredible. Ooh. Sex with you is. More breathe in. So that was incredible. And I don't know if that was incredible, but it was an interesting song. And I like how in its longer time that it did feel like it evolved over time in a way that I feel like She's Not Me didn't. That song, it felt very much like it was the song and then kind of a very extended outro. This feels like it kind of changed from the when everything goes incredible and going into this let's finish what we started, this building, this evolving song. Yeah, I thought it was cool how that happened. I think you very clearly can tell when Pharrell produced this song because of his ad-libs and his part in it, but also in terms of the breathing. The breathing keeps me knowing that it is Pharrell. And there was a lot of oohs. Those are not as much of a sensory issue for me, but I felt like it was a bit gratuitous. It was a bit excessive. It felt like it kept going, and even the parts that didn't feel like they were building, it felt like they were there, and the fact that they all sounded exactly the same, it was a little bit much. But I think this is a song I'm going to have to hear all the way through again in headphones to see if I feel like it's something I'm going to play. I mean, 6-minute songs, they often have to move me in some way, and I do not know. I just didn't know where we were going, and now I know where we went, and so I want to see if I want to take that trip again. Track number 8 is Beat Goes On featuring Kanye West. Oh, I like the beat. They're like a silly girl. Oh, this is still a Pharrell song for sure. I know it's the Neptunes, but we hear Pharrell. Gotta get up out of your seats. So that was Beat Goes On featuring Kanye West. And I enjoyed the song. I didn't know it was going to be a Pharrell song, and I didn't know that the Neptunes and Kanye had collaborated before. But this was a cool mixing of a lot of different things. Madonna and the Neptunes and Kanye. I don't normally talk about Kanye on this channel for a lot of his current beliefs and a lot of his actions over the past several years. And so I don't tend to promote his work. I do have a soft spot for a lot of his early 2000s work, mainly because it's actually the work of his that I've actually gravitated towards. I really like his feature on American Boy, for example. I think 808s and Heartbreaks is his best work. I can also get down for some parts of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but past there is where I kind of stop caring too much about his discography. And that's also when he starts getting a little bit bolder in some of his claims. So this is in the right sweet spot. It is 2008. I'm pretty sure that is the same year that 808s and Heartbreaks came out. And even though he doesn't rap too much on that project, that is much more of him using the tools at his disposal. I think this rap is fun. I think the song itself is fun. It's about dancing. The beat goes on, and you gotta get up out of your seat, get down, beat, beat. And you just gotta move and groove, and maybe you'll find the one to take home at the end of the night. But yeah, a very simple song lyrically. I enjoyed it, really. And I think, yeah, this is a nice burst of nostalgia for a song that I've actually never heard. It does show a pattern of songs from Madonna's leaking and then them putting a remix as a result of it. Give Me All Your Loving, for example, had it without Nicki Minaj and MIA. And they then decided to add little verses for it so it felt different. So we can see that it wasn't the first time that had happened. We had West on this song, and I think the version of the song also changed a bit too. So the production was different and it was a new song. Track number 9 is Dance to Night. Is that Justin? The bass line and the percussion here really is going off. Does this have uncredited Justin Timberlake? You don't have to be beautiful to be understood. I'm just a boy and you're just a girl. You already used the line, grab a boy, grab a girl in 4 minutes. If you want to take it further, ooh, might escalate. You don't have to be rich and famous to be good. Yeah, I think a lot of rich and famous people are not good. Sorry. So it was Dance Tonight, and that was just a little dance floor song about flirting it up on the dance floor. They're having fun. They are going to, just move their bodies and, feel the warmth and the potential flirty nature in each other's eyes. Don't mind the 23-year age difference. I wonder why Justin Timberlake doesn't get the feature on this. Maybe because it wasn't a single, so it's not as important for it. I mean, every man that's associated with this project has decided that they want their voice on it too. So I guess it's not novel for this to happen with Justin because of how many times it's happened for Pharrell. And Timbaland actually hasn't lent his voice on any song besides 4 minutes, I'm pretty sure, so far. But I'm just a bit curious why there's so many male voices on this project and only a couple are getting credited at any given point. And I think it's funny because there's only some producers and co-writers that lend their voices to projects and put their little stamp on it with their voice. And it feels like Madonna's found them all and decided to put them all on one record. It's kind of funny. But this song is, it's just fun. I think it's not too serious. It is just very self-explanatory, being romantic on the dance floor. Now, is Duo from Duolingo bothered you today because it's time for your track number 10 Spanish lesson. Oh, we're going with a guitar for this one. Oh, isn't that how Pharrell's producer tag is the 4 on the floor? I like that she's just telling us what certain Spanish words mean. If you like my style, I can love you for a while. When you do your homework, you can get up on the dance floor. She's given most of mommy energy. That was Spanish lesson, and she knows some Spanish words. I do not know how much she knows in terms of Spanish words. For some reason, I feel like she might live in Spain or have a house there. She might. She's lived a long life. She might have lived in Spain at some point. I feel like I heard that she resides there often. But this was a fun song. It definitely has a Spanish guitar influence. It's not the first time we've had Spanish influence. We had Pray for Spanish Eyes before. And yeah, this song is just fun. I don't think this song is necessarily about a Spanish lover, but I think it is just a fun song about being flirty and romantic and being on the dance floor as well. Track number 11 is Devil Won't Recognize You. That sounds ominous. Oh, all right. We've fallen in. The angels surround my heart. Okay. Even the devil wouldn't recognize you. Have you changed? Oh, I do recognize you. Dang, maybe you haven't changed. Oh, break it down. This song has been reminding me a bit of Cry Me a River. It's like the same people probably produced it. Probably. So that was Devil Wouldn't Recognize You, and I really liked that one. Sonically, it feels like Cry Me a River, but it actually was originally a completely different production. It was originally written for the Hello Suckers musical. It was a bluesy torch song. So definitely very different than the vibe that it's giving now. But the song seems to be about this person in a relationship with Madonna or the speaker, and she does see the tricks and the manipulation, and maybe they think that they've cleaned up their act and they can hide it well, and that even the devil wouldn't recognize you. You're so clever, you figured it out. But Madonna does know better. She can see for what it is, and she knows that she has to move on. I really liked how this song turned out. I think it is a cool production choice to go with that. And it is still Timbaland and Justin Timberlake, so they're willing to kind of upcycle something that they did a few years ago on Justin Timberlake's debut. So I appreciated this one. I thought it was cool. I thought it was good lyrically, sonically. I just had a good time with it, honestly. Even though it is the song that is probably the least intended to be the dance floor anthem and to be the uplifting, positive message that you just have fun with, I had a lot of fun with this more seriously tinged song. Track number 12, last real track on this album, because we have 3 remixes, which I will briefly talk about as well. But the last actual new track on the album is Voices. Oh, that was ominous. Are you out of control? Is that dog walking you? First you want to love me, then you want to leave me? What's that about? You're the greatest salesman. Oh, this feels like it's the same person as Devil Wouldn't Recognize You. Okay, what is this cinematic moment happening right now? It really just sounds like an excerpt from a soundtrack right now for a major motion picture. So that was Voices, and what an interesting way to end the album. Apparently this was also written for the Hella Suckers musical, which I just found out is not something that ended up getting released, which is why I have not heard of it. But it was a musical that she was specifically working on, and apparently the song is about feeling controlled or playing mind tricks, which kind of makes sense with The Devil Wouldn't Recognize You if that person is controlling the protagonist and is making her feel like that dog is walking her rather than her just living her life as she intends to do. That Devil Wouldn't Recognize You part feels later, is that you seem like you've changed, but I know better. This is a very ominous way to end the record, and I'm kind of confused about it messaging wise. I know that they put Timberland and Justin Timberlake on this as well, but it feels a little moodier than a lot of other songs that have included their work on this project. With that, I'm going to move on to the 3 remixes that are showing up on Spotify as part of this album. I am just going to let them play, and then if I have thoughts on any of the 3, I will say those at the end of all 3 of the songs. So track number 13 will be 4 minutes, the Peter Saves New York edit, which has Peter Rauhofer on it. 4 minutes, the Junkie XL edit, and then Give It To Me, the Paul Oakenfold edit. So anyway, I'm excited to listen to them. I will say it says it's 5 minutes on this one, so false advertising. Oh, but the beat goes hard. Now let's get into it, yeah. TikTok again. We're waiting. Ooh, a little icy finish. Oh, this one's getting a little funky. Feel a little, I don't know, robotic. I like the start of a Katy Perry song. Yeah, daylight sounds coming in. This is a different vibe for sure. It's a completely different. Ooh, I like that break. Ooh, I like these drum hits too. Oh, this production feels luminous, full of light. Ooh, break it down, break it down. I got this feeling on a summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. Oh, that could have worked. This is pretty much just going with the song itself. So those were the remixes, and those were definitely different reinterpretations of these songs. The Peter Saves New York one, I wasn't really a big fan of. I don't really care for it. It was long. It's 5 minutes. The song's called 4 minutes. You got to keep it around 4. And I think it was just a little bit intensive. I get it as a remix, but I felt like the organization of it was a bit cluttered in some areas, and some areas much more sparse. And I just don't think it was the remix that gelled with me particularly well. Of the 2 4-minute remixes, I would definitely pick the Junkie edit myself. I think I'll add that to my remix playlist. And then the Give It To Me one, they got rid of the Go Stupid part. So if that is something that continues to bother me after my first listen, maybe I'll turn to this one. But it definitely will hit the remix playlist for how fun it is. I do like the production of it. It is a very clean remix. I can definitely see me liking it more. I think the long intro precludes it from it being in the regular playlist, but I think it is a good reinterpretation, and I think a valuable addition to the project. With that, we have finished this album, and I have to say this is, for the most part, one of Madonna's least serious works yet. And that is not a diss. It just means that she's mainly having fun here. There are some songs that are serious, like Miles Away, and a bit of Incredible, I guess, and Devil Wouldn't Recognize You in Voices. But for the most part, I think a lot of other Madonna projects talk about her life and dealing with the hardships and the struggles that she's endured much more than this project. And Devil Wouldn't Recognize You in Voices, even though they are a little bit moodier, and even though they very well could be about Madonna's personal life, they weren't intended to be part of this project originally. They were definitely intended to be part of this musical. And so as a result, I feel like they kind of create a detour towards the end of the project that doesn't feel like there was as much of a cohesive narrative as I thought there would be on this record. I feel like for the most part, this album is very cohesive. I think there is a good blend between the Pharrell tracks and the Timberlake and Timbaland editions. I think both of them have their place, and while you might be able to tell very clearly which one is which, it doesn't feel like it's a jarring whiplash effect. It definitely feels like they are all made to be on the same album. I will say that for both Timbaland and any production that Pharrell Williams is a part of, I feel like both of those are something that sometimes you can only take so much of in a sitting. I think Pharrell especially made it hard sometimes for me to get through all of Sweetener, which is a fairly long project in terms of the number of tracks in it. And you're not always ready to listen to that much Pharrell, and sometimes it can be a bit cluttered. And so I think there were certain elements that Pharrell implemented that maybe some people would like, but they might not be my style as much. And I think the same goes for Justin Timberlake. I don't listen to Justin Timberlake or Timbaland on repeat all the time. I do like some of their songs, but I think also listening to a bunch of them as well can be sometimes something that can be draining over time. There are certain artists where I feel like I can stay in the well for a long time and not have too many issues, but I feel like for both of these elements, I think sometimes a little dab will do you. I do think this is a fun project, and I could see myself dancing to songs of it. I think a lot of these songs in isolation will be fun and good additions. As a whole album, it works, but it definitely is something where I'm like, whoa, that's a lot to take in. And it definitely feels a bit of a product of its time, with the fact of the Neptunes being popular then, with Justin Timberlake and Timbaland being popular at the time, with a Kanye West feature happening. All of this feels very much 2008, and there is something that's positive about that in the fact that I do have a lot of nostalgia for that time period. But there are some elements that do feel a little dated in a way that's kind of similar with MDNA having elements of early 2010s that are a bit dated today. So I enjoyed this project. Is it one of Madonna's most important works or most seminal works in her discography? In my opinion, not necessarily. But I like that as the true queen of pop that she has been open to different sonic choices and different collaborators. No two albums from Madonna do sound perfectly alike. I think that really shows her dedication towards experimenting, doing different things with her craft. I don't have to feel like this album is like American Life or Confessions on the Dance Floor or MDNA, even though those are the main albums that are around there. They have elements that are similar. Madonna still wants to dance. She still wants to be in love. She still has trifling men in her life. But she approaches it in a different way every time. And I think that is something that I find admirable in someone who has had such a long career in music, that you could just go through the motions of it, but she's not. She is trying to do something that really sticks with her, resonates with what she wants to say on this project. And it doesn't seem like she wants to say too much on this project. She just wants to vibe, which I guess for it being the recession time, I get it a little bit. Sometimes you just want to move and groove. But yeah, I think I enjoyed this project, but I don't think it's going to be the main Madonna project that I turn to in the future. With that said, here are some of my favorites. So the top tier are the songs I like. The standout ones I've been playing over and over again. Songs in the middle are songs I like, all of them to my playlist, but they might not be the top to top. Songs of them are just not really my thing. Doesn't mean it's a bad song. Doesn't mean it can't be your favorite song. Just means it's not for me, and that's okay. Madonna made this album when I was, I think, 8-ish. So this music was not for me. It was a little bit too explicit and too mature for me at that time. And also, the remixes will not be here because they are remixes. They don't normally get added to main playlists. If you like this video, please like it, comment down below to react to it next on my channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.
Get out of the zone.